Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm WoWcrendor, and today I'm going to be making a video about my World of Warcraft story because my friend and fellow machinimator Nixium, he made a World of Warcraft story video, pretty much how he got started in World of Warcraft and how he got started in Machinima and kind of just how that impacted his life. And so I've answered these questions kind of in Q&As like World of Crendor or on some streams and stuff like that, but I've never actually made a video dedicated to my World of Warcraft story. So I figured, you know what? Why not? Why not make a video? I'm sure there's like some new people here that have never heard it before. So I started out in World of Warcraft back in January of 2005, and the game had launched in November of 04, I believe. So it'd been out about like a month and a half, give or take. And at that time, I was a freshman in high school. I was around like 14 years old, something like that. And I'd played MU Online. That was the only MMORPG had played prior to World of Warcraft, and so I remember we were playing some Halo 2, and we just got done playing MU Online for a while. We were getting kind of tired of it, and oop, I hit the microphone. And our friend, AJ, who was like in our RTS like guild type thing, he's just like a friend I played a bunch of video games with. He was like, yo, me and my brother are getting World of Warcraft. And we were like, shit, dude. Like, what's that? And he's like, oh, it's this new MMORPG game where it's like MU, but like a lot more advanced, and like it's all like 3D or like third person, and like there's orcs and everything. Like I went to the website and I was like, oh my god, this game looks so cool. There was like it had all the professions. I remember they had Wintervale going on, so the website was decked out with Wintervale stuff. And I was like, I need to play this game. I remember I clicked on the professions tab and I was like, I'm gonna be a cooker and a fisherman, or a cooker, a chef. I used to be a chef and a fisherman, even though they're secondary professions. But I didn't know that at the time. I'm gonna be a cooker. Anyway, then I saw that it was $15 a month, and I was like, I don't know if I can pay that. So, or if I want to pay that. I'm like, why would I pay $15 a month to play a video game? That's stupid. I'm not gonna do that. And then they're like, all right, well, we're going to. So they started playing it a few days before New Year's, and I remember just listening to them on TeamSpeak, and they were just like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like, we're flying around on the Zeppelin. We just landed in the jungle, which was Stranglethorn, and they're like, oh my god, we're getting attacked by raptors. Oh my god, this world is insane. And I was like, I want to play. And so January 1st or 2nd, I don't know which day, I went to GameStop. But I went out, I used my Christmas money I'd gotten, and I bought World of Warcraft box copy. You couldn't download it, you had to buy the box copy, and went home and installed like the 4 discs or however many discs there were, and then started playing World of Warcraft, and I was hooked from there on. So I made a dwarf hunter on Laughing Skull. That was my first ever character. And then after playing that for a bit, I switched over to my orc hunter, which was my first ever horde character. And that would be the character you know as Billy. His name is not actually Billy, but that is how you know him. That is the actual Billy character. And so I leveled him all the way to level 60. And it was such a fun time to be playing World of Warcraft. And part of it was because I was in high school as well. So I was just a freshman in high school, halfway done with my first year. And obviously I didn't really enjoy school. And having World of Warcraft is like something you could come home to and look forward to doing was just like the best part of high school. Like, I remember every day I would just be like, oh my god, I get to get home and play World of Warcraft. And so people be like, hey, you want to hang out? And I'm like, nah, I gotta go home. And I just go home and play WoW. And in the library, I would just write, like, how am I going to make gold? How am I going to get my mount? Because I got to get my mount and, like, all this stuff. And it was just is a fun hobby to keep you kind of distracted from reality of high school and people being like, your grades are bad, you're doing blah, blah. And you're just like, I'm playing, wow, yay. And then after getting a 60, I realized that everybody plays Hunter, and my friend Dan had also had a Hunter, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go Priest. And our friend Steve, who was from Relaxing Raid Runs, he had a Troll Shaman. And so I went Undead Priest, and I named it Crendor. And that is how Crendor is made. I randomly generated the name. I think it was like Crendor with a K or something, or like Crendorn with a K. And then I took off the N and added a C, and it's like Crendor. That sounds good. And who'd have thought that, like, 10 years later, or 12 years, however long ago it was, that I'd be using that name a lot more than I thought I would. So that's pretty much what I did in World of Warcraft. Then I raided. I did all the raids, Molten Core, Blackwing Lair, all that stuff. I was also a dumb, like, 14-year-old, so I was just like, like, sometimes I'd read my old forum posts and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't handle myself back then. I was so cringy. Just like reading, I think anybody that goes back and reads their old, like, forum posts and messages and stuff from when they were younger, it's just like, I can't, this is so bad. So yeah, I did that, played Burning Crusade, played, for some reason, this is such an odd thing to bring up too. There's a candle we got at the mall, and it's like called Wine Country or something. Like Wine Vineyard Country. And I smelled it. And my mom must have bought this candle, like the same type of scent, like years ago. Because I remember Burning Crusade, being in Terracar Forest, and it was cold outside, like in real life. It was cold outside. I was inside. It was like the heat was on. I was in Terracar Forest, and it was like a school night, and I was just leveling, and the game had just come out. And for some reason, that vivid memory hits me every time I smell this candle. I'm like, maybe it was just like a little, maybe it was just a weird, like, one-time thing. And then I'd smell it again and be like, nope, there it is. Terracar Forest, Burning Crusade. Like, it hits me every time. And so I've kept that candle just so I can be like, whoa. It's like a weird drug type. I'm like, oh, Terracar. Yeah. It's such a weird thing, but it's, I don't know. I don't know, man. Smells are strong. I know it's like smell and taste are like the two closest to the memory part of the brain or something. It's something like that, and that's why smell and taste are like the triggers for memory most of the time. Either way, moving on. Then I got to Wrath of the Lich King, and that's when I started getting into WoW machinimas. And so I watched a lot of WoW machinimas, but then I watched Rurikar, who, if you have seen our specials for 5 years, is Rob, or Old Man Willikers, Rurikar. Those are all his names. And he was making WoW vids at the time. So he made Jimmy the World of Warcraft Story. He made Papitos. There's a few other ones. He'd been making Unforgotten Realms. And to me, he had the funniest videos. I loved these videos. These were just hysterical to me. I loved his humor style. It was one of the first times I think I really appreciated dry humor and sarcastic humor. It just really appealed to me. And it's like, there was silly humor in it, but that dry, sarcastic humor was like really something I'd never enjoyed before. And then I watched it and I was like, oh my god, I love this. And so not many other World of Warcraft videos did that I'd been watching. And I was like, I can do that, right? Because he'd kind of stopped making them, and then I was like, well, I can make them, right? Like, if nobody else is making them, I think I have that sense of humor, so I'll make them. And so I did. And I made a lot of machinima videos, and I was making like a couple of, I think I'd make like 3 or 4 a month. I just loved it. I wasn't even making money off it at the time. Like, for a year and a half, 2 years, I just made machinima videos, and all I wanted was like to make people laugh, and I enjoyed making those videos and putting them up and then seeing people be like, I love this, and then seeing the views, and I was like, oh my god, people are watching this and they're liking it. This is amazing. And so then I got to raid with Rob or Rurikar in Wrath of the Lich King, and so that was another experience too, which is odd because now I'm like friends with him. But back then I was a fanboy and I was like, oh my god, I get to play with him. This is amazing. I was freaking out. So I can relate to most people that are like, oh my god, I'm playing a game with a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer or whatever. Because I remember that feeling of being like overwhelmed and just like, ah. Which again, it's funny because like now we're just friends that rant for a few hours every year in a video. But we raided together, and so after a while of raiding with him, it was like, you're like, all right, he's just another dude, he's chill. And we had fun. That was one of the most fun times I ever had raiding. It was just a fun group of people. There's I can remember like most of the people in our guild, and it was just, I enjoyed it at least. I don't know if anyone else enjoyed it as much as I did, but I had a lot of fun. And then after that, we all kind of disbanded, and Cataclysm hit, and that's when I started just branching off and just doing more and more World of Warcraft Machinima, and I started doing it more as a job, and YouTube and all that type of stuff. And then from then on, I never really raided or played the game as hardcore as I did back in those days. I guess maybe Legion would count, but I'd been streaming most of Legion as I played it hardcore, but I don't consider it the same. I don't consider it the same because it was such a it was more of an escapism thing back then, and now it's more of like just what I do. Because I'm like, I can stream this, I can do it. So it's not the same. But yeah, that's pretty much my World of Warcraft story and my Machinima story. And, it's weird because to me, World of Warcraft isn't just a game. It's just something that's changed and impacted my life. Like, any game can do that, right? You can play any game and it can change and impact your life. But it had such a change and impact on my life. Like, so many things. Like, just, I got my job, my career, the thing I'm doing right now from World of Warcraft. I got pretty much all the friends I have from World of Warcraft. Even like all the co-optional people, all the things. Like, I wouldn't have gotten into YouTube. I wouldn't have met any of them, really. I wouldn't have met Toaster Woman. I wouldn't have met Kat. I wouldn't have met Rurikar. I wouldn't have met Nixium. I wouldn't have met just so many cool people. And it's mind-blowing to me that this game helped all that come to fruition. Is that the right way of saying it? I don't know. And it helped me get through school. It gave me an escape from school and all that type of stuff, and it just gave me this cool fantasy world to be a part of. And on top of that, it helped me create just this awesome community where I could help people get through hard times, or just laugh, or just help them just get through a day of I don't want to go to school, I don't want to work, I don't want to do whatever, and you're able to just help them escape the same way this game helped me escape. 'Cause in the end of things, most people in life are just looking for kind of little escapes away from reality, because reality is kind of boring when you think about it. And so that's why it's fun to just be in fantasy worlds and to watch videos and movies and media and all that type of stuff. And now I'm just branching off and ranting about things. So either way, thank you for watching my World of Warcraft story, and I'm hoping to actually have a new Machinima out this weekend with Orc vs. Wild, High Mountain. I was going to do Stormheim, and then I was going to do it a while ago, but I've actually been spending a lot of time writing Orc vs. Wild, High Mountain, and so I'm really excited to get that out this weekend. And I know a lot of people like, Crendor, you don't make as many Machinimas as you used to, and I don't. But I think I made so many back then that I almost burned out just a lot of my ideas and everything that I had. And I just A lot of it's just writing. Like, now that I've sat down and write, it just feels great. It's like rekindling an old fire, and so I'm going to be making that. I'm pumped for that. Maybe I'll put some old Machinima videos in the recommended end slate thing, so you can nostalgia out about that as well, if you've been here for a long time. And if you haven't, that's my story. Thank you for watching and listening, and yeah. Okay. See you.